Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Melwood. You are watching The Political Vigilante. So, Mark Zukerberg is not happy that Bernie Sanders wants to tax billionaires. What pushes back against Bernie Sanders' call to abolish billionaires? Facebook founder Zuckerberg appeared to defend the existence of billionaires in an interview on Friday. This came out October 19th, right? The Washington Post, democracy dies in the darkness. The Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, billionaire, buddy. They were also given $600 million, Bezos was, and he owns the Washington Post. Zuckerberg, who's worth more than $70 billion, seemed to express concern in an interview on Fox News that eliminating billionaires in America would stifle competition between private and public actors in funding scientific research. Let's hear what he has to say. And pretend this isn't coming from hipster in a hoodie and skateboard shoes. And just, it sounds like if I just read this to you and said, did this come from somebody that works in tech industry or like some stodgy old Republican? I bet you'd pick Republican. What I worry about a little is when I hear sentiments like what the senator suggested, is the suggestion that this should all be done publicly. It would deprive the market and world of a kind of diversity of different attempts that can be taken. Oh God. So this is the free market is the key to all of our troubles, right? This is the same free market that has created late-stage capitalism, that has created homelessness, that has created the single greatest transfer of wealth to the 1%, that has created this massive wealth gap. We have never seen inequities like this. We've never seen it. Never seen it. Worse than the Gilded Age. Okay? So that's what he's asking for. What do rich 1%er corporate people always say? Let the free market decide. Isn't it great? That's great. Listen to this. That this should all be done publicly would deprive the market that you profit from. 85%, let's talk about the stock market real quick. 85% of all stocks are owned by, take a guess, the 1%. And it would deprive the market and world of a kind of diversity of different attempts that can be taken. So this is this notion that the free market, man, creates all these things. Could you say that, research and stuff helps, but it's never research for the greater good. It's research so the 1% can have more money. You ever got stuck with a big, mean, ugly tax bill and you're like, man, I'm just barely trying to keep afloat. You ever run your own business and be crushed with some tax bill? Well, they don't have to pay a lot of taxes. Remember now, I did a video on how Amazon made $11.2 billion in profit in 2018 and they paid $0 in taxes. Here's more from Zuckerberg. But there are a lot of people who do really good things and and help a lot of other people, and you get well compensated for that. But you're not doing things to make the world a better place. You didn't create Facebook to make the world a better place. You did it to get famous and rich. Okay? So let's get at the real heart of why he doesn't like Bernie Sanders. Is it because is he worried that Bernie Sanders taxing billionaires and eliminating billionaires will deprive the world of all of these great things billionaires have given us? Is that because billionaires just give us great things, like Mike Gravel not being allowed to be on stage for the Democratic debates because he has an anti-war message. So Tom Steyer, billionaire, just gets to buy his way in. Isn't that fantastic? Is that what he's talking about? Oh, Zuckerberg would owe the federal government an additional $5.5 billion in taxes the first year of Sanders' proposed tax, should it be enacted, according to the Sanders campaign. Oh, so a guy worth $70 billion doesn't want to pay an extra $5.5 billion in taxes. Oh, but how are we going to pay for Medicare for all? How are we going to pay for student debt forgiveness? How are we going to pay for free college tuition? By taxing these billionaire assholes. That's how we do it. Actually, if you study MMT, you realize We could do it without taxes. Watch my MMT playlist. It's a bunch of videos on that. But we should be taxing billionaires because this ain't right. Why am I busting my ass every year to make money and pay my taxes and find as many tax breaks as I can, and I still got to write the government a check, and man, does it always hurt. You've had to go through that. I've had to go through that. Or maybe you're someone with a regular job and you see a big bite taken out of your check. But he doesn't have to worry about that. Think what $5.5 billion could do. In the city of Los Angeles, the homeless population in the last 5 years has gone from 25,000 people to 36,000 people. 11,000 new homeless people. Is that what Facebook and Google and all the cool tech hipsters are they coming up with stuff to get us off of to get us off of Middle Eastern oil, to get homeless people off the streets? This 5.5, how many people? Not just housing for the homeless, but health care, mental health, drug treatment, job training. We could do all of those things. So let's look at what Zuckerberg would be worth if Sanders' plan had been in place for a while. Had Sanders' plan been enacted decades ago, Zuckerberg would have been worth $29 billion in 2018 rather than $61 billion. Oh my God, that would be a crime for him to only be able to be worth $29 billion. That would just be like, wow. And what if this extra $32 billion went for getting the homeless off the streets, or drug treatment to deal with the opioid crisis, or jobs, or student debt forgiveness? Trump gave a $1.5 trillion tax break to the billionaires, his billionaire, folks like this, millionaires and billionaires. A $1.5 trillion tax break Trump gave. You want to know what the total cost of student debt forgiveness would be? $1.5 trillion. But these people don't want to pay bills. So you think there's a difference between the Republicans and the Democrats? There is not. But what does he do? He's that insulting, condescending notion that billionaires, you should let billionaires have the money because they're actually better than you and me, and they know how to treat. They actually are doing good things to help society. Really? Really? And I'm sure these billionaires live this on a daily basis, like with their neighbors. If they move into a neighborhood, you see that the billionaire is all about giving back to the community, right? Oh! Zuckerberg builds a wall, pisses off his island neighbors. You might remember this from like a year or so ago. Him and his wife bought a massive, like hundreds of acres of land on Kauai, one of the islands of Hawaii, a beautiful island, I'm told. I've never been there. I've been to Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island. I've told it's called the Garden Isle, if I'm not mistaken. It's beautiful. He built a wall. That's how great billionaires are, and that's why we shouldn't tax them, because when they get more money and don't have to pay taxes, they do things like this. Build a wall blocking a view of the ocean. This is the beautiful Pacific Ocean off of the coast of Kauai. He built a wall higher to block people's view. That's how great billionaires are. They're so great. And gee, why is he so worried about Bernie Sanders' plan? Because he'll have to pay more in taxes, and God forbid if he's only worth $29 billion instead of $61 billion. I mean, how do you live on that kind of money? $29 billion. I mean, good God. Well, how's he going to live? I mean, he can't build big walls if you only have $29 billion. I mean, him and his wife, they're going to have to what? Start drinking their own urine? I mean, fly commercial? Oh my God, instead of a private jet? Oh, what a bunch of animals. Oh my God. I mean, that means he'd have to like what? I mean, if he can't take a helicopter from Silicon Valley to his private jet airport, I mean, how do you, I can't even think of it. It's just horrifying to think about that. Every day in my one-bedroom rent-controlled apartment that I'm living in because I lost my home thanks to Bush and Obama and Kamala Harris and Steve Mnuchin and parasites like that, I just worry every night. I'm like, God, I hope Zuckerberg doesn't lose half of his 60-some billion dollars. I don't know what I would do. As a guy that looks at his bank account every month and has to squeeze everything and, shop at Costco to save money and, can I go out to eat? Probably not. That depended upon you, members viewers. That's how I'm able to do the show. Folks like you. I don't get, Facebook doesn't sponsor me. Facebook won't allow me to buy ads targeted at Jimmy Dore and Lee Camp fans. They just started that. They just started another form of censorship. So we should listen to Mark Zuckerberg's bullshit? Oh, he's such a hipster that talks so cool and he wears Star Wars shirts or whatever. I wonder why he's, wait a minute. He's quietly been advising Pete Buttigieg on campaign hires. You know Pete Buttigieg, naval intelligence officer, former naval intelligence officer Pete Buttigieg that also worked at a hedge fund? Oh, that's the kind of corporate Democrat billionaires need. Not ones like Bernie Sanders or Tulsi Gabbard that help working class people. Medicare for all helps working class people. Free college tuition helps working class people. Student debt forgiveness helps working class people. Pete Buttigieg is not going to help working class people. That's why billionaire Mark Zuckerberg, that doesn't want to pay any taxes, is backing this clown. But am I being tinfoil hatty that Zuckerberg is working with a former Navy intelligence officer? Am I just being, maybe he just likes his political stance. Maybe I'm all crazy guy on YouTube standing in front of a TV in his apartment. Maybe I'm all crazy. Ooh, wait a minute. This came out 2011 from CBS News. Not exactly some lefty weirdo on YouTube now, is it? Social media is a tool of the CIA. Seriously, Jim Edwards, 2011. We know this from Cambridge Analytica, what Facebook is all about. It's social media, specifically Facebook, which has made Zuckerberg a billionaire more times over. He could give away 60 of his $61 billion. Well, that was in 2018. This year he's worth $70 billion. So 69 of his $70 billion and still be left with a meager little $1 billion. God, how could you live on $1 billion? He could pay me $1 million a year to run this show, and he wouldn't even blink. It would be like me giving you 20 bucks a year. It would be nothing. It would be nothing. $70 billion. Do you know how much money that is? 1% of $70 billion is $700 million. So thanks, you guys, for supporting what I do and getting your news here, because CBS did this online somewhere in 2011, but I don't think they're going to show Mark Zuckerberg's interview, but they won't call him out for his hypocritical bullshit. They won't call him out for the fact that he is worth tens of billions of dollars and just doesn't want to pay taxes and stop all this bad billionaire talk. These tech billionaires, these unelected tech billionaires that run these social media companies that we have proven, we showed Twitter on this show. A guy that is in a PSYOP unit in the British Army is an editor for Twitter. You read the book When Google Met WikiLeaks. We know Google has been working hand in glove with the intelligence community since at least 2010. That's why they're backing one of those CIA Democrats, which is Pete Buttigieg. Do you see how this all works? Do you see how this, and you see the corporate media will never tell you any of this. That's why you got to come here. So please support what I'm doing, because I'm so sick to death of billionaires complaining that they might have to only have a little bit less billions of dollars rather than a monster amount of billions of dollars. God forbid. And they buy islands and build walls up. That's why billionaires are so great, and we should worship them and pay our taxes and be grateful we get to pay taxes, and thank God they don't. That's the kind of nonsense, because the corporate media is run by these billionaires. It gets ad time by these billionaires. And they run ads showing how cool and hip Facebook is. Yeah, it's great when I reconnect with some friend of mine from college on Facebook. That's fantastic. But when they're taking my personal information to create a profile that they give then to the intelligence community, gee, I'm not so down with. I'm not down with that. So please support what I'm doing, because I don't have billionaires backing me. I have you backing me. I have members like you. This new mic, this lights, everything was paid for by you. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You get bonus content for as little as $5 a month. The $2 a month tier on Patreon, I'm going to have to get rid of it because Patreon takes too big of a chunk of it and it doesn't make any sense. So I hate to do that. You can also support me at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Another great way, the free way, some of you are like, Graham, money's tight. I get it, I get it, I get it. You know what you can do? You like, you subscribe, you share these videos. Hit the subscribe button. YouTube has been unsubscribing my numbers. They've been throttling my views. Watch the ads all the way through. Don't click skip ad. And another great free way to support what I do, I have a Pandora comedy channel. My 2 comedy albums, Comedians Got a Boo Boo and Palm Strike Dance Party, are on the Graham Elwood Pandora channel. Listen for free, hit the thumbs up. I get residual income when you listen to my comedy albums. Isn't that a great way? And then see me and Ron Placone for the Progressive Comedy Tour. We're going to Australia in November, Southern California in December, and then we are hitting Seattle, Portland, Orlando, Tucson, San Francisco in 2020. All those dates are at grahamelwood.com. I have a PayPal button. I have a P.O. box. Other great ways to support what I'm doing. Thank you so much. I am not a billionaire dick.